Alright, so this last video is for drawing foundation walls. So the whole house is going to have a foundation under it. It's the basement. It is the concrete walls that everything else is built on top of. So usually I build the first floor walls first, and then I use some of those walls, or all of the exterior walls, to build the foundation walls. So most often the foundation that's under a garage is not the full depth. So if you go in the basement of most houses that have a garage in them, there's no basement underneath the garage. The foundation is usually only half the depth of the rest of the wall, and it's just backfilled with dirt. And so let's say a basement wall would be 9 foot high, concrete 9 foot high underneath the main house. It would only be like 3 foot or 3'6". I usually make them 3'6" underneath the garage. Technically, they only need to be 3 foot. So that's what I'm going to show you on this. So this is how we left the last one. Just going to hit this in working one. So we're back to a plan view. I'm going to turn off the guides because you won't need them. So this is a little bit advanced. We're going to be using that wall replacement tool, and we're basically going to be duplicating the exterior walls of the first floor, moving the duplicated version to the basement level, or the foundation level I should say, and then we're going to replace those exterior walls because they're just made out of 2x4 right now. We're going to replace them with a different thickness of concrete wall, and we're going to have to change the classes too because we don't want to have a concrete wall that's in a siding class. That would be incorrect. So first I'm going to select all of the exterior walls. So to do that, I'm going to get this magic wand, this select similar tool. I got to make sure I'm selecting what I want to select here. So I got to click on this, the preferences here. And I'm only dealing with wall styles right now. So thickness doesn't matter. It's actually set exactly the way I want it because I want to get actually want to get all of the walls that are, I want to get everything that's in the same class. See, if I left it selected like this, it would be looking for all of the same wall styles. And you remember some of these exterior walls were with the exterior 2x4 wall style, and some of them were with the exterior 2x4. So some were 2x4, some were 2x6. So that would be all, those would be a couple different wall styles. So right now, because it's selected, it's looking for all the same wall style. The class, they are all in the exterior siding class, so that was correct. So if I turn this off, now it's looking for all, whatever I select with my magic wand, select similar tool, it's going to look for everything that's in the exact same class of whatever I touch. So I'm going to just leave it like this. And if I click on this exterior wall, it should give me the entire perimeter of the house, and also include that garage separator wall because all of those walls are in the exterior. I think they're all in the exterior siding class. They are. So technically, I'm going to deselect those. Technically, this wall, it shouldn't be exterior siding because it's not really, it's an exterior wall, but it's not an exterior wall. It's not going to have siding on it. It's between the garage and the house, so it's really an interior wall. So I'm going to change the class on that because it is an interior wall. Okay, so now I'm going to get that again. I know that the preferences are already set the way I want them. So this should now select just all of the exterior walls, and it does. I do, however, also want to select this wall. I just want to make sure it was in the right class. So I'm going to hit the selection tool. All of those walls are still selected. I'm going to hit the shift key because I want to add this wall to it. All right, so those are the walls that I want to take downstairs for duplicating. So all these walls are selected. I'm going to hit Command D. And I don't know why it's, okay, that took it longer than I thought it would have. So it just duplicated all those walls in place. So they're directly on top of each other. So currently there are 26 walls that are selected and they're all on the first floor plan. I want to take those all downstairs. So I'm going to change the layer to the basement plan. So all those walls moved, even though I'm still seeing them all here, these are the originals. So all of these exterior walls, they're still here on the first floor plan. But now if we go to the working zero, which working zero is the basement level, there's the ones that I moved. Let me get this out of the way. And this note is important, so I'll just slide it off to the left here. So there's all the duplicated walls. The one thing that it does is it screws up all of the connections, all the joins. So we'll change that at the end. So let's see. What I want to do first is we'll deal just with these. These are the walls that will have. So you remember I said that the basement of the house is kind of separate from the garage, the foundation of the garage, because the garage doesn't have a full basement. So if you were literally standing inside this basement right now, which are the walls that are the perimeter of the basement? Let me draw a thing around them. So it's almost all those walls minus this wall right here. So that would be the entire basement of the house. So I'm going to replace all those walls with a 10-inch concrete wall and then make sure that they're all in the right class. So currently, if you look under class, there's nothing showing. It's because there's more than one class. All of these walls are in the exterior siding, and then this separator wall is in the interior. Remember, we just changed that to the interior class. So that doesn't matter right now because they're all going to become concrete as soon as we change them. So these are all going in a clockwise fashion. So we're going to replace the left side of the new wall, of the existing wall rather, with the left wall of the left side of the new wall. So I'm not going block 10 inches, I'm going concrete 10 inches. Align left side with left side. And all these walls are going to grow toward the inside of the house because the outside is aligned left with left. So watch the walls as I hit OK. So they all grew in. All right. And I just need to change the class now to wall exterior concrete. Now they're all in the correct position. So the only other thing about those walls right now is they have to be aligned properly with the ones above. So currently I'm going to just zoom into this part of the house and I'm going to turn off the guides layer. There aren't any guides on, but I'm going to turn those off and I'm going to ghost the first floor plan above. So you can see that the walls are lined out to out all the way around. That's because we aligned those left to left. Hope all that makes sense. So these still aren't joined. We're going to have to join those in a little bit. But the last thing that I want to show you is that these foundation walls actually need to be bumped out a ½ inch, because when the builder frames these 2x4 exterior walls, he's going to put a ½ inch of plywood it's actually called OSB, and it's actually not a half inch, it's 7/16, which is very close to a half inch. So he's going to be putting this 7/16 OSB sheathing on the outside of the framing, 2x4 framing, and that sheathing has to be flush with the concrete wall. So that's actually what this note was over here. So anyway, that's I actually just told you wrong. There's going to be a 1-inch sheathing. If it's a 2x4 exterior wall, it's going to be 1-inch sheathing. So in order for the sheathing to be flush with the exterior wall, all of these walls have to be bumped out 1 inch. All these concrete walls. So I'm literally going to just, if I select this, this, and this, I can bump all of those walls down 1 inch and over to the right 1 inch. So 1 inch, and I'm hitting Command M to get this move selection dialog. So those 1, 2, 3, 4 walls are going to move over 1 inch and down 1 inch. And you can see if I zoom in that they're outside by 1 inch. Just draw a box here to show you. There's 1 inch. Okay. So I basically have to move all the other ones too. So let's go up here. This one needs to be moved. This one needs to move. The reason I'm selecting these is because I can move all these at the same time. I mean, I could select this one and move it up 1 inch. And select this one and move it, Command M, move it over 1 inch. But if I move them all, I'm just going to undo those. So, but if I move all of these, I can move all these at the same time because they're all going either up or over. So Command M, 1 over, 1 up. This one, this one, this one. Move it over, move it up. And then this one, this one, this one. Move it over, move it down. And then this one also moves over and down. And these ones move over and down to the right. All right, so they're all basically have been moved 1 inch away from the walls above. Okay, so now I'm just going to turn off that ghosting, and I'm going to repair all of those joins. Oops. If you click anywhere on the wall, and click anywhere on the first wall to anywhere on the second wall, and it'll join properly. Okay, so those are all joined. I'm going to go ahead and ghost that first floor over top of it again. And you can see that the basement walls are 1 inch out from the framing above. And again, that's because the framing above is going to have 1 inches of, in this case, I said OSB before, in this case it'll be 1 inch of foam, and that foam needs to be flush with the outside of the concrete below. Okay. So now all we got to do is put a foundation under the garage. And if you recall, so these are the garage only walls. I can select them all, holding down the shift key, I can select them all individually like this, or I can just draw a marquee around them all and then hit a shift key and deselect this one. since I don't want that one. All right, so I'm going to be doing the same thing with this. I'm going to be aligning the right side of the wall with the right side of the new wall. And initially I'm going to make these all 10-inch concrete, and then change the class. Okay, that's the first step. Second step would be to move them all 1 inch. Next step would be to join them all properly. Actually, the next step would be to this garage, the wall that has the garage doors on, this is the only one that's ever a 12-inch concrete wall, and it's the extra 2 inches are to support the concrete driveway, so that the concrete driveway isn't just resting on dirt, it's actually resting on part of the house. So the extra 2 inches provide like a ledge for that concrete to be poured and rest on top of. So I'm going to replace this 10-inch concrete with 12-inch concrete wall, but I'm going to align the right side of the existing to the right side of the new, because I want it to grow 2 inches further on this side, on the left side. So line right side with right side, and that's that. All right, so the only other thing to do would be to align this 10-inch wall with this 10-inch wall. So just like the concrete has to have that 2-inch ledge to rest on, for the concrete driveway to rest on, the inside edge of the garage also has to have a ledge to rest on. So you can see right now, remember we drew the concrete to the inside of the framing? Well, it's resting on all of this extra concrete block. Right here you can see it's got 3.5 inches to rest on, but here it only has 1 inch to rest on. So we're going to, plus if you were actually putting up forms to build this concrete wall, this would be a real hassle to have this little jog here. So I'm just going to align this wall with this wall, and the difference is it's off by 2.5 inches. So I'm literally just going to select this wall, Command M, move it over 2.5 inches, and now they're aligned. So all we got to do now, turn off the first floor ghosted, and I'm just going to reconnect all these. So when I'm connecting these, just remember, just like above when the garage walls were done last, first make sure that this one is connected properly to this, and that this one is connected properly to this one, and then connect the garage walls to it. So, and one way you can tell is whether or not they're properly aligned. If you click on this, you can see that ghosted orange goes all the way over to the corner, and the same with that. So they're definitely connected. I'm going to disconnect them real quick by taking this remove wall breaks. And now if I select, and you can see that the ghosted orange only goes halfway. Okay, so I'm going to reconnect those. I'm going to do these corners of the garage. Those are connected. Connect this to this. Those already are, I can tell. T, connect that to that. connect this to that. All right, those are the garage foundation walls. Now currently those are all full height. Those are all the exact same height. And remember, I said that the garage is usually half the height of the, or less than half the height of the garage foundation walls are usually only 3 foot high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select those walls. Okay, so just these walls are the ones that are going to be shorter. And look at it in front view. And if I go down here, the bottom offset, I want those to be 3 foot high. So currently they're 9 feet high. I want them to only be 3 foot high. So I'm going to bring the bottom up 6 feet. And now those are only 3 foot high walls. So if you look at them like that, that's, I see a mistake there. So I didn't change the class on those. So let me reselect those. See, those are all on the wall siding class. Put them all on the wall exterior concrete class. Now redo that. Now they're in the correct class. So this is what this looks like. So those walls are 3 foot high, and the rest of them are 9 foot tall. So for the foundation, there's one last thing that we need to do. Underneath all of these walls is going to be a footer, which is basically a wider concrete wall. So that wider concrete wall is only 10 inches thick. Usually, sometimes it's 12 inches thick. It's almost always 10 inches thick. It's going to be 10 inches thick, and it's wider. It's a different wall style. So we're just going to do the same thing. We're going to select all these walls, except for this one. So those are all the basement walls. I'm going to Command D to duplicate them. And so now I just have the duplicated walls on top of the other one. So I'm going to change the wall style to a footer, 10 inches, or 20 inches, I'm sorry. It's going to be 20 inches wide by 10 inches deep. So footer 20 by 10. I'm going to hit OK. I'm replacing the center line to the center line because I want the foundation wall sitting directly in the center of the footer walls. Okay, currently it's in the exterior concrete class. I want those to be in the footer class. Exterior footers. And I want to send them to back. Command B. Now they look correct, except for the fact that these are all 9 foot high, and they're not supposed to be 9 foot high. They're only supposed to be 10 inches high. And they're supposed to sit underneath. I'll show you a front view. They're supposed to sit underneath those 9 foot high concrete walls. So I'm going to do bottom offset. They need to go down negative 10 inches. And the height isn't supposed to be 9 foot 10. It's only supposed to be 10 inches. So that's how they're supposed to look. Okay, with the exception that I gotta work on these joins again. All right, so, and then the last thing is doing the footer wall underneath these garage walls. So I'm gonna select all these walls, deselect this one and this one. So just the garage foundation is selected. I'm gonna hit Command D. I'm going to replace center on center with the footer 20 inch. I'm going to change the class to footer. And then I'm going to look at it in the front. You don't have to do this. I'm just showing you for your benefit. These are currently 3 foot tall. So I got to take 10 inches off of here, which should mean 5'2". And then got to make those, instead of 3'10", just going to make them 10 inches. And that's correct. This is what it looks like when it's done. Actually, let's connect all those walls. Let's send those to back. Those are currently in the front, so let's Command B to send those to the back. And just get the wall join tool. Okay, everything looks, this looks wrong. I can tell that that goes to the corner. So it's just this one that needs reconnected. Okay, there's a situation where I said sometimes it won't let you do it. So I'm just going to remove all the wall breaks as simplified. And I'm going to rejoin the ones that need rejoined. So those need rejoined, these need rejoined, and this needs rejoined. See that this one over here needs rejoined. Check them again. This one somehow came undone. See how this, I did this one and now this one's undone. Sometimes you chase these around the edge and I don't know why that happens. So just double check that all the corners are correct. It's going to go around the entire building now, watch. See this one down here that's connected, it's going to become unconnected as soon as I do this one. Oh, made me a liar. Alright, this one needs redone now. Oh, my nerves. I don't know why this happens. Up. Oh, undo. If something scrammy happens, just undo. Kind of glad that this is happening because there's no rhyme or reason as to why this would all go wrong. I'm going to remove all the wall breaks from here and just reconnect this whole thing. So connect that to that, connect that to that, connect this to this, this to this, and then this to this. So that's correct. See what happens with this one now. All right, now looking at every corner, they all look correct. All right, so zoom out, put it on isometric just for you, render it, and that's the way it should look. And if you truly want to do one last thing, you could put a concrete floor in this basement, and an easy way to do that would be to select all of these exterior walls of the basement. Actually, you just want the walls, you don't want the foundation, so just select all these. You could either draw a polygon to the inside of all these walls, or if you just select all those, you can, let's see, create polygon from walls. not doing the gross area, you're doing the net area. That's the inside of the walls. Boom. Got yourself a polygon. Create a floor out of it. It's not going to be -4. I think it's just going to be 0 plus 4. You can look at it. First, change a class to floors. This would be new concrete interior. I'm going to send it to the back just visually. Look at it in front view, and it's where it should be. It should be resting on top of these footers. And there's your concrete floor. And that's it's a very long, very complicated, as I would say, call that a pretty advanced lesson. So if you can do everything that I just showed you in all 4 of these videos, that would be amazing.